All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another TMD Golf podcast. And guys, you are going to want to stay tuned for the whole episode of this. So today, we are going to be doing our second interview on the podcast, which I'm so excited about. And the guy we are going to be interviewing today is a social media sensation, you can say. So if you've ever seen pretty much any stinger video, this guy was probably the guy to hit that stinger. He has a really successful YouTube channel that is upwards of 3,500 subscribers. And the man, the myth, and the legend we are going to be talking to today is the one and only Zac Radford. And I'm sure if you watch golf YouTube channels, I'm sure you've heard of him. He was down in that group that went down to Florida to go to the PGA Merchandise Show. But overall, so I reached out to Zac on Instagram, and he replied. And yeah, so I asked him if he wanted to come on the podcast. And thank you so much, Zac, for coming on to the podcast. I am so excited to have you on. And just, guys, this is going to be an awesome podcast. Zac is a photographer, a pro golfer, golf YouTuber, golf Instagrammer. He's got over 60,000 followers on Instagram, so go check him out. Links are in the description for both the YouTube channel, his Twitter, and his Instagram, so go check him out. But we are going to be interviewing Zac Radford today, and I'm just so excited. We're going to be picking his brain about how he started YouTube, what it's like to be a pro golfer, and just how this past year, because his channel really came on this past year, and how it soared to 3,500 subscribers, and it is growing increasingly. So, guys, go check him out. Links are in the description, but enjoy the podcast.
Maybe. Yes, sir! Right at it. Right at it! Oh, he's done it again! Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win. Is it his time? Yes! The tap in for Tiger. We thought we'd never see it.
So it is my pleasure to now introduce on the podcast, we have one of the coolest golf YouTubers in all of YouTube, pretty much. He's a photographer, he's a pro golfer, and he's a YouTuber, social media just guru. His name is Zac Radford. Zac is known for his crazy stingers. Pretty much, like I said in the intro, if you have seen a stinger on Instagram, it's probably him who's hitting it. And with 64,000 followers on Instagram and over 3,500 subscribers on YouTube, Zac is growing in popularity rapidly and is a huge inspiration to me and my channel. So, Zac, if I could ask, could you give us some background information of who Zac Radford is?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem.
So, yeah, a little background. Grew up actually playing baseball. Didn't really get started into golf until later in high school. Kind of my junior year, family moved up here to Nashville, and baseball up here in the area at that time was not very competitive, and so I had grown up playing very competitive baseball. When that change happened, when we moved, I ended up kind of just switching over to golf and pretty much never looked back, and played throughout my high school career there my last 2 years, and then ended up going to Tennessee up in Knoxville. Okay. I do bleed orange, very much so. Yes, ball for life right here.
Nice.
But after I graduated is kind of when I really got into golf. I didn't play at Tennessee. I just attended undergraduate school there. And then when I graduated, I was probably about a 10, 12, 13 handicap, somewhere in there, and really just wanted to see how good I could get. I improved fairly quickly kind of when I picked the game up in high school, and so I just kind of wanted to see where I could get my game. And so for basically a calendar year after I graduated, I every single day. I was out at the course until I had to go to work at night. I waited tables at night and practiced all day until I had to go into work, and got my handicap from a 10 to 12 all the way to about a +6 at the end of the calendar year. So I was shooting 64 to 67 very regularly,
Wow.
most rounds at my home course. Now, that wasn't in competition. That was just out playing, but I got into competition a little bit after that, and those scores didn't initially translate over because I just really hadn't played in a whole lot of competition. It'd take me a little while to get comfortable competing when, you can't feel your arms and your legs are shaking and you're nervous, and I just didn't know how to deal with those nerves initially, and it took me a little while, and through the years ended up getting some wins on the mini tours and played well at times, and then kind of stepped away from the competition a little bit, but wanted to get back into it, and was kind of struggling as far as getting sponsors. And so someone had the idea about 3 years ago that I start getting onto social media, seeing if I could build something there. But honestly, I had no idea, had no concept of social media, had no clue as far as what would even come of it. So honestly, just started with Instagram, started posting some pictures that were really not good. I had no idea what I was doing, and if you scroll all the way back to the beginning of my feed on Instagram, you'll be like, yeah, he's right. Those are pretty terrible. And so, honestly, just kind of started learning. And then one day, it all just kind of started clicking. I took a photo, and I was like, oh, that was really cool. And then I started having more and more and more ideas. And so that was really neat as far as kind of the process of those creative, juices getting flowing. That was a lot of fun. And then I didn't really get into the videos for a little while, just posting photos and things like that, and then got into videos. And one day I was playing with one of my buddies, and I was like, hey, I can hit a stinger pretty good. What if I just video it real quick? And so took the video, posted it, and it got so much traction so quickly that I was like, well, I guess I need to post more stingers.
Yeah.
So I just started trying to get more and more creative with the stingers and trying to bend huge sweep and draws and cuts and all kinds of stuff. And at the same time was trying to learn how to video it properly so I could show the actual ball flight of the shot as well as you can. And so I was trying to learn videography at the same time, as well as the whole social media and the traction that was starting to happen and things like that. And now I've branched into YouTube, which I love YouTube. Actually went out and shot a video the other day, day before yesterday.
Okay.
It's shot a little different. I actually have someone out there helping me with this video, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's definitely a little different look, so I'm going to see how the community likes it, and if they like the direction, I'm going to start trying to implement a little bit more of that in the future. But yeah, I just love creating content. I love getting the younger generation excited about the game of golf, introducing people to the game of golf that normally would never, even think about picking up a golf club because they saw some fun video on Instagram or YouTube. And so, yeah, sorry, that was kind of a long-winded answer,
that's great information. So, how many years ago did you have, the idea that YouTube is the next step and next process for you?
3.5 months ago.
Nice.
So, yeah, I had a YouTube account for 6 years.
Okay.
But I never did anything with it. And it just kind of was sitting there. And then when GM Golf, my buddy Garrett, was has an unbelievable YouTube channel
Yeah,
as well.
it's really good. I love that.
Yeah, he was so encouraging me to get into YouTube and just kind of dive in. And so, honestly, that's what I did about 3 to 3.5 months ago, I guess it was now. I just started going out there trying to figure it out, and I'm shooting it all on my phone. I actually edit on my phone as well and upload. So I literally do everything on my phone.
Jeez, that's awesome. And like, so when I film my videos, like I'm really inspired by you because originally I was filming with like my parents' camera, is like some Nikon camera.
Yeah.
But the audio would never be that good. And like there was no microphone jack on it. So there was one day I was like at Best Buy and I wanted to get like some sort of like add-on microphone, like a Roto or whatever it's called. And because I was watching your videos, I saw that you film it all on your phone from what like I've seen from like other content creators like GM Golf, like Andrew Jensen, like on those Florida trips. I saw that you like use your phone with an add-on microphone, and that's actually what inspired me. So I think I have pretty close to the same setup as you do, which is awesome, and that's all thanks to you, because now I do edit on my computer, but that's awesome how you edit on your phone also.
Yeah, personally, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I have a computer. I need to get a new computer. that is here in the near future, hopefully. And so it currently is how my workflow is. The video that will be coming out next, my next YouTube video, hopefully we get it done here in the next couple of days. It is shot on with a Sony camera. It's not going to have the same look as some of my other videos.
Okay.
It's going to be almost two different kind of styles as far as my typical phone YouTube videos shot on that. I love shooting on my phone, honestly. Like, I love it. So that will not go away. These new video style that I'm going to introduce, I am very excited about it, just because it's going to be almost its own series. I haven't quite decided yet, so this is almost a pilot.
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So this is going to be kind of an intro to a new style that will be its own series on the channel. The channel will still be continuing the same. I'll still be shooting on my phone, but this is just an additional series of content that I hopefully think everyone's going to enjoy, because it is shot a little different. But I think it's cool. So I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome. One thing like I found when I first started recording with my camera, and there's probably about, for me, I have about like 40 videos up. I try and upload like a podcast a week and then an average video a week, like every weekend. But I realized with my phone it's so much like easier and like just simpler to just press a button on your phone, and it's so much smaller. So it's like good for a startup like me, which I like a lot. And it's got the shot tracer right on it. I bought an app for like $5 or something, so it's nice.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. And honestly, if you have a fairly up-to-date phone, the quality's phenomenal.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Understand lighting a little bit, and you can get some really great shots with the phone. So, I mean, you can shoot in 4K if you have one of the new phones.
Yeah,
I know. Which is incredible on your phone.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy how much technology has improved since.
For sure. And so I typically, I do get asked, what I film with and those sort of things. And I just encourage people to just go out and give it a try, because with the phone, it's really pretty simple to even get started doing a YouTube. The editing is where it gets a little more complex, and you would know, but it's not that bad.
No.
Because if you I mean, watching my videos, you can see that I don't do hardly any editing. I'm more or less just cutting the raw clips together. And so I like that personally. The people that I watch on YouTube, I like the more real, authentic, where they're kind of just cutting clips together. I like a little bit of editing here and there.
Mm-hmm.
On the phone, unfortunately, you're really limited to what you're able to do. So this new series that I'm going to be coming out with will have slightly more editing on it, but not much.
Okay.
So I am, like I said, very excited about this one. So
That's
we'll
awesome.
see how it turns out.
Yeah, it's awesome. I just want to ask, like, so you said you started about 3.5 months ago, your YouTube channel, and it has grown drastically in that 3.5 months, all the way up to 3,500 subscribers. So what were a majority of those subscribers over from Instagram? Because I know you have a ton of Instagram followers, or how did you get those subscribers going up so quickly?
Yeah. Well, obviously, getting to collaborate with Garrett in a handful of videos helped a ton. Then I got to collaborate with Andrew. That helped a little bit. But I think it mostly was, through those 3 months, I was uploading like 2, maybe even 3 videos a week.
Okay.
And when you're uploading that much content on YouTube, YouTube will start actually promoting and recommending your videos. And so some of my videos started getting some real traction on YouTube. And because of that, that's where I really started seeing the subscriber growth. I've got one video where I played 3 holes with a bouncy ball that ended up doing well. I think it's got a little under, I think it's around 46,000 views on that video.
Wow.
And then I've got a couple others that have done well. And so with YouTube recommending those videos, that's where I really saw the subscriber growth, but kind of paired with the ability to collaborate with Garrett and Andrew and a handful of other YouTubers.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool how you got to. So how did you meet Garrett? Like, it's awesome how you got to collaborate him, but how did you first meet Garrett? Was it over social media?
Yeah. So Garrett's pretty much like my second little brother. So his family is like my second family. They are awesome. I don't exactly remember. The first thing that I remember was sending him a DM of one of his stingers, and I was like, bro, this is sick. And that was that.
Wow.
And so he sends back, he's like, thanks, bro. And then all of a sudden, he like pops up in a video challenging me. And I was like, man, this kid's like serious about this. So, and I was like, this is awesome. So we went back and forth, had never met, but we were like challenging each other to different shots and stuff on Instagram. And so that was pretty much where it started. That was a year and a half ago, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's kind of an inspiration for my channel also, because your guys' content are so similar, and you guys are probably the 2 channels I watch most, and just because I'm a few years younger than Garrett. I'm 16, but he just seems like an avid golfer also, just like myself. So it's really cool. It's really, really cool to watch you guys like grow and develop, and just especially your channels, because I've tried to like start channels in the past. I just never could stick with it. Now, like, I stopped my other sports, so I used to play basketball and volleyball also, but then I stopped playing those, so a bunch more time opened up, and then the part I always disliked a lot was editing. It was kind of difficult to me because I'm not too good with computers, but then, like, I started doing it for a couple videos, and then I started to like it more, and I'm just kind of like teaching myself. It's kind of interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But, so, like, how was the trip to Florida? So you went with Andrew and GM Golf. So just can you talk about that? Because all those videos you made about that were literally some of the funniest, coolest videos I've ever seen. It was just like vlogging. It was just all around every day. New videos were coming out, and it's just so fun for the viewer like myself. So can you just kind of give us some background information of that trip?
Yeah, for sure. So we kind of had planned on this because of the PGA Show. We wanted to figure out some content to shoot down there, and so we had a few things planned prior to us getting down there. So me and Garrett, we had the place booked where we were staying for 2 weeks, and basically we just headed down there. Me and Garrett got there before everyone else did, and me and Garrett just kind of hit the ground running. And our goal was to upload a video a day, and we tried our best for the first several days. But then whenever everybody kind of got there, the PGA Show started, it got difficult because we would go shoot during the day to get our video, and then we would sit there and edit all night till like 3 a.m. And then we would wake up, get it uploaded, and hopefully have it ready for that afternoon to make it public while we were shooting another video, and we would do it again. So it was, we were having so much fun, but at the same time, not gonna lie, it was a grind. Our goal was to make sure that everyone was able to view something every day from what we were doing down there. It was so much fun, but we're staying up late editing because we were trying to each come up with a video for each of our channels each day. Towards the end, like I said, it did get a little more difficult when there was more people there to find the time, 3, 4, 5 hours at night to edit each video. But we had a blast. We're probably going to look at doing something this summer, kind of like that, we're hoping. So we'll definitely keep everyone updated if we're able to. Me and Garrett, for sure, will be doing some stuff. Me and Garrett are actually going to the Masters this year. So that will probably be the next time I see Garrett, which it's only it's coming up here actually.
3 weeks,
soon.
I think. I think it's 3 weeks.
So
yeah.
he'll fly in here to Nashville, I think, and then we'll road trip it down. So we're both super pumped. So there will definitely be content coming from that.
That's awesome. That is really cool. And so at the PGA Show, there's obviously a ton of people, like you were saying. And this is something like I need to work on a lot just with my channel. I love picking your brain and just how to grow a YouTube channel. It's really interesting for me, and it's just so cool talking to you. But because there's so many people, is it like when I film with a ton of people around or on a crowded golf course or something, I kind of feel like I stand out. So how do you handle filming with a ton of people and just trying not to be that awkward guy who's just talking to a camera?
Yeah. So if you do notice, most of my videos when I'm here in Nashville at my home course, almost all of them, not all of them, but almost, either the weather is awful or the last hole I'm finishing in the dark.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to go out, not be in anyone's way, have the appropriate time to set up camera for each shot and that sort of thing. So I do kind of try to schedule my shooting around the course being a lot more open. Now, I know that wasn't quite your question, but that is for most of the content. And then to answer your question, with everyone around, and I'm walking around looking like I'm talking to the air, holding up my phone with this microphone hanging off of it, and everyone's walking by looking at me thinking, what is this kid doing? So, honestly, it took a little practice.
Yeah.
Of just doing it. Obviously, you don't want to get in anyone's way, but as long as you're staying out of everyone's way and you're confident in what you're doing and just have fun with it, people enjoy it, and they're gonna honestly probably want to join into the video with you. So just keep it fun. Be respectful of others in your immediate surroundings. Don't get in their way or anything like that. But yeah, that's definitely been fun. But it did take a little practice to get comfortable, in those settings.
Yeah. So you've hit some crazy shots that I've seen that you've posted on Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be. My personal favorite was being the one where you had the trees right, and you just hit a 90-degree slice around the trees onto the green. That was the first shot I've ever seen of you, and chills went down through my body after I saw that shot. But what's your personal favorite shot you've ever hit?
So there's one, and this was probably, I'm trying to think, beginning of sometimes last summer. It was an uphill hole. It was a par 3. It was 200-something yards, straight up the hill, and there's this lone tree, kind of big pine tree sitting there, and that was the most difficult shot I've ever done. The unfortunate thing was that was a shot that I wasn't able to really capture the ball flight perfectly because of the lighting. I went ahead and posted it, and it actually got on Barstool. But I couldn't believe it because it was one of the few videos that the ball flight wasn't quite visible, but it was a super cool setting and all that. And so what it was a huge hook around this one single tree kind of up by the green. And what made it so difficult was to get the ball to curve 35 yards maybe, but it couldn't start curving until 180 yards in front of me. It had to curve late, and it did. And it bounced on the cart path and rolled up onto the fringe 20 feet away. And I couldn't believe it. That was probably one of my favorite ones. And I was excited to put a golf shot on Barstool. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah. Those Barstool guys are pretty cool. I like watching their stuff, and I like listening to the Foreplay podcast. I don't know if you listen to that, but it's very good. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
But kind of jumping back to the start, how did you really start to get into photography? Because I've seen some of your pictures that you post on your Twitter, on your Instagram, with all the different colors, setting sun, and they just look awesome. Some of your thumbnails use them. So when did you really start getting into photography?
You can pretty much, probably about 2 years ago,
Okay.
maybe a little bit more than 2 years ago. You can pretty much look at my Instagram feed.
Okay.
And when you start noticing the pictures kind of starting to change, you could see that I started kind of trying to work on it and learn and that sort of thing. So actually my Instagram feed is a great place to kind of just see the transformation of my photography and kind of, the overall direction and the process of, learning.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to have the encouragement and kind of some help of a handful of very good photographers. But their styles are very different than mine, but I was able to learn a ton from them to implement. And so I just kind of tried to keep learning, worked on my editing, because if you go back and you look at some of my old pictures, I would way over edit them.
Okay.
It just, you'll see what I'm talking about. It just, I was learning.
Yeah.
I was learning. So, and that's what I always encourage people to, that, want to get into content creation, want to get into photography, go out there and honestly, mess up, make mistakes, go out there, take a photo, edit it bad to know not to do that again. And then all of a sudden you're going to do something one day that works, and then you're just going to try to keep getting better with it and improving and improving. And so, I just love seeing people just, go out there and just try. And even if you mess up, that's okay. You can learn from it, get better the next time, and just keep improving. And honestly, that was kind of the process of that. And that started, I guess, about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
That's me.
Yeah, that's cool. You just got to learn with trial and error. It's something that's near and dear to my heart because a lot of stuff in life is just trial and error and just learning. Everyone's going to make mistakes at one point, but it's how you come back from those. And just with your photos, that sounds like what you've been doing, which is awesome.
Well, I'm really glad you enjoy them. I enjoy the photography just as much as the videos. And I know on Instagram, late, I haven't been posting near as many photos, and that does have something to do with just more people wanting to see the videos.
Yeah.
And so I will post the occasional photo, maybe once every other week kind of thing, because I do love photography. And I've done some work for some brands and companies outside of my own content, which I really love it. Really enjoy it.
That's awesome. So, like, has filming yourself, like, golf and stuff over the past 3 years, as you said, has it taught you, like, anything about your own game? Has it taught you, like, anything you want to work on or just anything you want to do better?
Yeah. Well, this is going to be, like, real brutal honesty as far as the YouTube. I needed my short game to be really good because I'm going to be honest, this winter my swing was not very good. I have not been hitting it very well. So it taught me to work on the short game because, it wasn't going to be very much fun to view a video of some guy shooting 43. So I needed my short game to be in gear. So definitely working on the short game, and I mentioned that a lot, but that is something that you can really shave off so many strokes on working on putts inside of 6 feet and working on, short wedge shots, 40 yards and in. That's where you really can see strokes fly off. And then I know my swing's gonna come back and be in a good place this spring and summer, but with poor conditions and I'm swinging in 3, 4, 5 layers of clothes sometimes, it really is tough to make a repeatable swing. Not necessarily to make excuses, it's just kind of reality as far as difficulties during the winter. But yeah, it's also taught me game planning because when I sit there and talk through each shot on the videos, it really helps me kind of visualize how I want to play each and every hole, and really helps me kind of focus and hone in on that. And so, yeah, that's definitely been a benefit as well.
That's awesome. So you're a registered pro golfer, right? Technically, you're a pro golfer, correct?
Correct. Yes, I have. I actually did win a professional event last year. Finished second in another one. Played decent in one, not so great in another. But yeah, I played in like 4 or 5 events last year.
Right.
So yeah, once you I've accepted checks and made enough money to be qualified as a professional golfer. However, I've not played on tour yet. So.
Okay. That's awesome. Have you ever tried to qualify for any USGA tournaments like the USAM or you can't do the USAM now obviously because you're a pro golfer, but have you ever tried to qualify for the US Open or done any of those qualifiers like Monday qualifier or something like that?
I have. I did the US Open qualifier many years ago. I think I've only attempted it one time. So this is a humbling story.
Okay.
This was towards the very beginning of me competing, and I did sign up for the U.S. Open qualifier. Needless to say, with the outcome of my round, I got a letter from the USGA saying that my score was outside I can't remember the wording. Basically, my score was so high that I needed to write a letter to the USGA in basically proving to them for the next year that I was actually capable of competing.
Really?
So, yes. I don't remember the score that I shot. I just remember the letter. I want to say I shot like, I think it was like 88 maybe.
Okay.
87. This was 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Wow.
Trying to think. 9 years ago maybe. Yeah, 8 or 9 years ago. That was like towards the very beginning of me competing, and I had a bad day.
Yeah.
And the score got real high real quick, and so yes, that was my one and only time that I've done a USGA qualifier. I am looking at doing one this year, so I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I need to contact the USGA to make sure that that is cleared now, or maybe I need to write a letter. I need to figure that out before signing up. But yeah, that was like 8 years ago or so. Needless to say, there's been quite improvement since then, but that was my USGA experience
Wow.
as of right now.
But yeah, so what's your like schedule for the upcoming year professionally? Like, what tournaments are you gonna play in? Are you gonna play on like any of those mini tours, or just try and work your way up?
Yeah, so the tour that I went on last year is a tour in Georgia that I'll probably go play in a few of those. It's called Open Golf Atlanta. It's just kind of 1 and 2 day. I think maybe some 3-day events as well, but the competition is very good on that tour. So it really prepares you. And then the Tennessee State Open will probably be one of the first events. That will be, I'm trying to think, May 31st is the qualifier, and then the event will be the following week, I believe, like that first week in June maybe. And so it's actually at a course not too far down the road from here, about 45 minutes or so. Fun course. So I'll be heading to do that one. I'm looking at playing in 3 or 4 other state opens and a few different Monday qualifiers as well. With all of the social media, because I do have some obligations in the scheduling now with social media, that it has made it slightly more difficult to plan out the playing schedule. So there's a lot still up in the air as far as the events, but I do know the Tennessee State Open I'll be playing in, and I'm going to try to get down to Georgia to play in some of those. Probably will play in like the Iowa State Open this year and some of those kind of Midwest State Opens. I love Midwest golf.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty cool courses up by where I am. I don't know if you've heard of Rich Harvest Farms before, but that's a really cool course.
I have not.
Yeah,
I have not.
I think they played like the 2016 or 17 like NCAA championship there. It's a pretty cool course. It'd be so cool. I think it's like it's only members, and it's like you can only be invited to become a member, so it's like pretty like secured, but that would be an awesome course like to play. I just feel.
For sure.
Yeah. But as we're moving in, like we're kind of moving out of the social media, out of the YouTube like platforms and talk. Just have you ever been on like a golf trip that you will remember for the rest of your life?
Absolutely. So this is kind of heading up your way a little bit,
Okay.
a little east of you, but this was probably the most surprising and amazing golf course I've ever played. So I'm going up to French Lick, Indiana, to the resort there for some social media stuff with a tournament announcement, and I was going to be playing the courses up there while I was there. And the first day we get there and we play the Pete Dye course. We play the Donald Ross course the first day. And great course and perfect condition. But it was just kind of a, old school Donald Ross, which nothing wrong with that. It just,
Yeah.
Shorter, a little more old school course, but very nice. Really did enjoy that round. The next day, we got to go play the Pete Dye course. And I am telling you, that was probably one of the most special rounds of golf I've ever played. I have no clue what I shot. Honestly, it didn't even matter. I think I played okay, but honestly, it was the most enjoyable round of golf maybe I've ever played. The golf course was so amazing. It had these volcano bunkers.
Wow.
Hard to explain, because if someone was telling me that this was a real bunker, I almost wouldn't believe them.
Yeah.
But these bunkers were like a 3-foot circle, maybe a little bit more, we'll say 5-foot circle, like 15, 20 feet up in the air. And it looked like a volcano, like along the fairway, by the green. They were the coolest things I've ever seen. So that was just one cool aspect of it. The course also was like 8,100 yards, I believe. So very long.
Yeah.
But it was set on the side of this hill that overlooked for like as far as you could see. And so these greens would kind of sit on these plateaus,
Okay.
and there's no backdrop, like at all behind the green. So I had never really played a course like that, and it was actually difficult to gauge a number, because the perception was just peculiar, but at the same time it was super cool. So I will have to say that was a pretty unexpected cool trip that I really enjoyed.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Is there any like future goals for you to go and play out of the country, like in another country?
Absolutely. I have been looking at doing a UK trip,
Okay.
and a trip to Australia and South Africa. Those would kind of be, I have plans of traveling to several other places, but as far as more of a golf trip, like kind of hitting New Zealand and Australia, I'd like to do that. I'd like to hit the UK, and then South Africa would be fun. The reason South Africa, my sister was over there for an extended period of time a couple years ago, and she loved it. So just hearing everything about it, I was so, excited for her that it just made me want to go check it out. So
That's really, really cool. What's your best score you've ever shot?
61.
Okay. Do you have the course record at that course?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
That was a par 70
Okay.
there. So yeah, I've shot 9 under a few times, but no more than 9 under. At my home course, I've shot 64 like 30 times maybe.
Okay.
I've never shot 63. I did one day. I had like a 5 or 6 footer for a 63 at my home course, and one of the guys I was playing with at the time, it would have been the course record. And we're coming down 18, and apparently he had texted someone in the clubhouse, because there was like 50 people around the green when we were coming up. So needless to say, I got a little nervous and didn't make that 5 or 6 footer for birdie. And so tapped it in to shoot 64, but yeah, that was 61, and how was it I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was at a par 70.
Okay.
Now in competition, 64.
Okay.
64 is my low in competition. I've done that several times, but so yeah, like on record in competition, 64. Playing with some buddies on a par 70 course one time, 61. But on a legit, because that 61, I will say, was on a little bit shorter course. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see it on the scorecard, but if I'm being real, it didn't feel like a legit 61. I played well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I did shoot a 62 once. That was pretty special in my mind. That was a par 71.
Uh-huh.
That was fun. Shot 29 on the back nine.
Holy cow.
And so that was fun. I birdied I think I birdied 7 in a row on the back nine.
Now, what do you feel like when you have those rounds? What do you feel click? Because for me, I'm not too good of a putter. I'm average. I'm not great. I'm not bad. And for me, when I think I shot, my best is 71 under is on a par 71, and then my best on 9 holes is 3 under 33. But for me, when I have those rounds, it's my putter that clicks. It's my putter and driver. But what do you feel for you is clicking when you shoot those rounds? Is it your short game, like you were saying, or is it your putter or your driver or your iron play? What is it for you?
I mean, it's going to be the putter more times than not. When I'm playing really, really well, obviously to shoot a really low number, you're going to need to hit a few close shots. You're probably going to need to knock it on the par fives to give yourself some eagle looks, maybe some very easy tap and birdies kind of thing. So, but all in all, to take it really low, putter has got to be flowing. And so probably one of my best, I'm going to say 8.5 holes I've ever played was out at my home course one day. Number 10 from the YouTube videos, if you remember that par 3 over the water.
Yeah.
So, I make the turn. I shoot 1 under on the front, shot 35, make the turn, and put my tee shot in water, go to the drop zone, wedge it up, hit it to a few feet, make the putt. And then I ended up shooting 29 on the side. So I played 8 under my last 8 holes.
Wow.
Best stretch of 8 holes I've ever played. Because I U-turned a putt for birdie on 17. Otherwise, I would have been 9 under my last 8. So that was really fun. In competition, I've got a handful of stories like that as well. But those are just a few examples there.
That's awesome. So now, so the Players is this week, obviously. So are you one to watch those tournaments? Are you interested in the PGA Tour? Do you keep up with it? Because obviously with social media, I'm sure you see scores and you see guys who are doing well. But do you sit down and watch it on the weekend or on a weekday? Are you just interested in watching the PGA Tour?
Yeah. I know a handful of guys out there on tour that I'm really rooting on and cheering for, and I do enjoy the big events, especially the majors. I will say, as far as me just sitting down and watching for an extended period of time, I only really do that on the majors.
Yeah.
The events during the week with social media, I'm definitely, keeping track, watching the leaderboard, watching some clips on the different media sources and that sort of thing. So, just the normal PGA Tour events, I'm definitely following along, and might watch it for a little bit. But as far as sitting down to watch it, because most of the time when it is being televised, honestly, I'm out shooting content.
Yeah.
So I may come home that night while I'm editing and kind of check the scores and watch a little bit of the broadcast, maybe if it's delayed or a rebroadcast kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but the majors, not gonna lie, the Masters, I will watch almost every second of coverage. Literally wish they had more. I could sit there and watch them hit on the range all day. There's something about the Masters, and I am so excited about going this year. I've never been to a tournament round before. I've been to practice rounds, so this year, pretty sure we're getting to go to a tournament round. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Now, are you going as media, or are you just going as an average fan?
Just as an average fan.
Okay.
So, yeah. It'll be just me and Garrett. We're just going to go. That's going to be something that, I want Garrett to experience it. And sometimes we love shooting content, obviously.
Yeah.
And all that. But sometimes when you're shooting a ton of content, if it was for like at the Masters, I want him to go and kind of just experience it. So I'm excited that honestly we're just going to be viewing it as a spectator because the Masters is special, and I'm glad that they don't allow cell phones, and I'm glad that people are there to watch the event. I think it's awesome. So, like I said, went to a practice round, and that was so special to get to go to hopefully a tournament round this year. That's going to be pretty neat. So yeah, we'll be doing content outside of us attending the Masters, but for the actual Masters, I'm sure we'll vlog all about our experience and stuff like that once we get outside the gates, but there won't be any media from the event itself.
Yeah, because like you said, they don't allow Do they allow cameras or no cameras? But I know they don't allow cell phones, correct?
Yeah, you can have like a point and shoot kind of camera, but there's like no video. Like you cannot take video. But you could have like a little point and shoot camera. But that's about it.
Wow. So with the players this week, like I said, Tommy Fleetwood's leading with Keegan Bradley at 7 under. Who do you think's gonna win this week? Because this is like the 5th major, so it's a pretty big tournament.
I think Rory is.
Yeah.
I've just got a feeling about Rory. He's been playing really well. I mean, you can't really count on Dustin Johnson with how he's been playing lately too. So I'm gonna guess those are gonna be one of my 2 guesses. But there's tons of players up towards the top, and Fleetwood has been playing phenomenal lately. Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be a fun event to watch down the stretch, and I love the players. I mean, those final 3 holes are so much fun to watch. I got to go out to TPC one day. This was several years ago, and play like 5 holes, but I did not get to hit on 17. I was so disappointed. But it was still cool. I was still very thankful to go play a few holes.
Yeah.
But that's definitely on the bucket list to hit a tee shot on 17.
It's probably one of the most famous shots in all the game, along with, I think it's 12 at the Masters and then a few at St. Andrews. Do you think they should make the players a 5th major?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, the field itself and what you have to do to qualify to get into the field basically is as difficult as the majors are. I would like to see them stick with the 4 majors just because of history and, just it would skew the numbers moving forward as far as career major winners. So I personally would like to see them just stick with the 4. But, if they did choose to do that one day, I don't think it would be a bad move because, I mean, the competition level is just the same as any of the other majors.
Yeah, best field in the game is, I believe. But moving on to the next major 3 weeks, who do you think's going to win that? You'll be there, and who's your prediction? I know guys are favored like Tiger, Dustin Johnson's up there. Who do you believe is going to win that?
Well, I'm rooting for my boy Ricky.
Okay.
I'm a big Ricky Fowler fan. Really enjoy watching him play. So I'm going to go with Ricky. That's going to be my pick of the week.
I would love to see him get his first major, and how fitting would it be at Augusta? He's been up there on the leaderboard. I think he was like tied for 3rd last year or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, he's been up there. So one last question to close it out. So 2018, what seemed to be an awesome year for you just with social media, and your popularity has grown so much. What was the best part of that year, that past year?
Honestly, just the amount of people that I was getting feedback from as far as introducing them to the game of golf It was incredible how many people were telling me that they were going to the driving range for the first time, asking their grandpa if they'd take them out to play 9 holes for the first time. And so really seeing how the content was translating into people picking up the game and getting interested in the game of golf for the first time really blew me away. And I was so excited. And so that would have to be one of the huge highlights for me for the 2018, because that is why I'm wanting to put out the content, to grow the game and to have fun with it and show people that you can have fun, but you can stay respectful of the game at the same time. So that would definitely be one of the major highlights for me.
So that about does it. Thank you for coming on the podcast, and congratulations to all your success. And to all my viewers who are watching right now, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. It was another great episode with the man, the myth, and the legend, Zac Radford. But Zac, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and have a great night.
Really appreciate it. Thank you again so much.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great night.